Hey guys, what's going on? I was casting the LCK versus the LPL games today, which were being broadcast over on one of the Riot YouTube channels. And I wanted to do an analysis of the game that I saw EDG play, which was with NASUS AD carry. I'm not even joking, you can see it right here, NASUS AD carry. Now, if you've been monitoring some other YouTube channels, you will have seen people like Hack, I think, and Rush talk a little bit about NASUS Senna bot lane, which a lot of the Chinese teams have been doing. This is NASUS Sona, so it's not even just with Senna, which I understand with Senna because it's fasting Senna, right? You have NASUS take the stacks and Senna gets the souls. It makes a lot of sense. This is NASUS Sona, and I wanted to talk a little bit about this game because I remember watching it and thinking it was an absolute banger, like 25 minutes, crazy gameplay, and it's kind of showing Korean and Chinese Wild Rift at a pretty high level. Thanks to G2A for sponsoring the channel, by the way. Reference link in the description below. So yeah, China has got pretty good at Wild Rift. They have a lot of people that have come from like Honor of Kings, so they clearly have a lot of pedigree when it comes to mobile esports. But I wanted to do an analysis with my little handy drawing tool to help do a breakdown of this a little bit further. We're seeing this a lot, by the way, and this is something the LCK teams do quite heavily. They actually do a lane swap, but they don't do a lane swap to take the tower. They do a lane swap to commit to a very early invade on the red buff, because obviously most junglers start red buff. It's pretty predictable, so they commit a lane swap purely to get Lee Sin ahead in this scenario. I'm not sure of the value of this lane swap personally. I get it with a Gragas, but you know that you're going up against the NASUS AD carry, right? So you know that you're going up against NASUS. Why are you giving NASUS a free early game for the sake of a red buff invade? And also, just if you look at this, we're getting what's called a vertical map split, right? By the way, no one is committing resources to protecting the red side jungle. So, pretty much Youth can just go straight in and go and take, a complete vertical jungle. We split the jungle like this and Youth just goes straight over here. He doesn't even have to go through the tri-brush if he doesn't want to, but clearly it doesn't really matter because no one's going to respond to him going for an invade on the red side right now. So realistically, this exactly, they've gone for the dive, like a level 2 dive here. They have the sustain of Sona and it's very easy for them to get out. Like it doesn't really make any sense to have made this play because realistically all you've gained is a red buff, and even then, if Youth wanted to, he could have gone in for that red side invade and taken that away, but nonetheless he's got a scuttle crab on the bottom side of the map. He's also managed to dive the Gragas early on, and I honestly, like, this is something that I've seen loads. They end up switching lanes, like they basically switch lanes to absorb the experience wherever they can. Like we saw Sky on this Ahri go top to defend the top lane tier 1 and then just like randomly not come back to mid. We've now seen Diana randomly switch down towards the bottom side of the map. It's really weird how LCK and LPL teams have been approaching the game state, and the way that they've been approaching it has primarily been, we don't really care which lanes our champions go into. What we do care about is absorbing as much experience on the map as physically possible, which is kind of what we've seen with that Ahri roam. We saw it with the fact that we just switched Gragas over towards the mid lane. Gragas has now switched back and Diana has taken her place. They're essentially trying to not waste experience on the map. But, again, I'm not entirely sold. And I think Ahri just got 1v1'd by that Diana. I wasn't entirely sold on the concept of this lane swap, mainly because this tower is much tankier than it used to be, due to the fact that, Riot really wanted to discourage lane swaps. So all you've managed to do here is get a red buff, and you've actually gained almost nothing else because of it. The other thing to note is that this might be a play if you want to prioritize Rift Herald, but with the backs that are coming through now with 1 minute to go until Dragon, I wouldn't be surprised to see the bot lane switch down towards the bottom side of the map and then see a prioritization on Dragon. Looks like I feel like he could have actually gone for that, I feel like he could have gone for that play, but he just didn't. Okay, so we're seeing the bot lane go back top. Now this would only make sense to me if the LCK team, if KT want to go and prioritize Rift Herald. This is the only play that makes sense. My guess is that you would use this presence on the top side of the map to sort of get Rift Herald and then take Rift Herald and take top lane tower. That to me is the only reason you would make this play. Because otherwise you've given a NASUS free stacks. And NASUS is 2,700 gold. He's only a little bit of gold behind the Lucian. And Sona, who's also classically a really good scaling champion, they are being essentially given a free lane in the 2v1 here. So it does look like KT have gone for this Rift Herald. It looks like the LPL are doing the sensible thing, which is just committing to the side of the map where they have the most power. So KT are committing to the top side where they have the most power. The LPL, EDG are committing to the bot side where they have the most power. And what we'll see now is very likely a race for the first tier tower, and we'll see Doe hopefully commit with a Rift Herald to take this down, because obviously you can see that the LPL are grouping up towards the bottom side of the map to make this happen. Might be that we don't even really need to see the Rift Herald expended, which is the case here, and it'll be the top lane tower taken for KT whilst they save that Rift Herald for some kind of play later on. I would imagine setting up some priority for the next dragon. But EDG respond by getting that is a really random Rift Herald. I'm not gonna lie. Like, Ari has come and has already applied pressure here. If you get a big commit, but Lucian wasn't there. I said if you get a big commit, I understand it, but that's got to be a really random use of the Rift Herald. Like, I would have much preferred to see that saved for an opportunity to crack the mid lane tier 1, or saved for an opportunity to set up some priority around the next dragon. Otherwise, it doesn't really make that much sense to me. But overall, both teams even, like 200 gold separating these two teams. But I am starting to worry a little bit about the fact that we do have NASUS, who's been given a free early game. And that's really the biggest part of NASUS's game that you want to try and capitalize on, is the NASUS early game. And by initiating that lane swap, we've seen NASUS kind of be gifted a free early lane. He's actually gone for Force of Nate. No, has he gone for Fimbulwinter? That's Fimbulwinter, right? Okay, we've seen NASUS go for Fimbulwinter, I guess because it's relatively easy to stack. But I don't see many people go for Fimbulwinter, so that's a really interesting pickup there by EDG. It's going to make him very tanky, by the way, and will make him slightly easier for him to be a threat in team fights, which is really cool. I love the thought process behind that. We're going to see them head up towards that top lane tier 1. Looks like the KT roster are trying to group up and try and push onto the mid lane tier 1 here, but they don't really have the minion wave to work with. So EDG just managed their minion wave on the top side of the map really well, and have been able to capitalize by taking a second tower, which is going to provide a big injection of gold. Now, KT clearly nice. That's a really nice zoning Sonar ultimate, but it doesn't look like they're going to get this done in time. The culling's going to come through. They have the tidal wave to peel back anyway, so credit to KT where it's due. They saw the big commit of pressure on the top side of the map and decided to commit to that mid lane tier 1, which now, I like to explain what this means a lot of the time. This now means you have all of these entrances into the jungle, the enemy jungle, where the enemy does not have protection. So that means that you can start to get some deep vision towards the red buff, some deep vision towards the blue buff, and this often allows you to be a little bit more aggressive when setting up for objectives. It also allows you to be a bit more aggressive in the way that you're approaching the game. Looks like KT are just exploiting areas of the map where they have good wave set up right now. Isaac jumps in, Doe flashes forward, but can't quite find the killing blow onto the Ahri. But really, the Ahri was the icing on the cake. The main meat of that play was to get the tier 1 on the bot, which opens up every tier 1 on the map here for KT, which now means that you can shove those minion waves in and make it more difficult for EDG to react when you're setting up for the next dragon, which is due in about 50 seconds. Haven't really had much time to talk about the compositions here, but you look at KT, they've got a very strong mid-game comp. Like, you've got Lee Sin, you've got Diana, you've got Lucian. There's lots of wombo combo there. The 2-item power spikes are really strong. So I'm expecting, once we get that Rabadon's Death Cap, once we get the Solari Charge Blade finished up, you know, you're expecting this team to want to group up and fight because they have a really strong mid-game team fight. And if you let this go late game versus a NASUS and a Sona, who have got like infinite sustain in their kits, I'm a little worried that you're not going to be able to deal with it with EDG. And also the fact that Fiora scales up really well, and Fiora combined with all of this ridiculous sustain is going to be quite difficult to deal with in team fights, where Fiora is classically not that hard to deal with in a team fight situation. So EDG have got the scaling advantage, and especially when it comes about to the way that they play out fights, if you can survive the burst of the Diana, you're going to be in a situation where you don't really care about anything else. Like, once that Diana ultimate's down, KT's team fight is a completely free opportunity for EDG. So you just need to be a little careful. And AG, you want to go for this. That is a big commit from the Vi. She's completely isolated, forced to flash away, which I completely understand. Going to see that Moonfall come through. Nice kick. Honestly, just look at the way they're peeling back, though. That they are just healing up, peeling back. Somehow, they weren't going down in that fight. Look at how these guys boxed around each other at distance. Like they're playing a sort of a poking match at distance, and you're seeing the value of a Sona who's been given a free early game here. EDG absorbed everything, and they still look relatively healthy heading up towards this dragon. And you can see now they've got positional priority on the dragon because of that healing and that advantage they have, and Sona's continuing to do so, continuing to heal, keeping them healthy. And you have to see Diana doesn't have that ultimate available. That's going to be a commit from Rattel. He's looking for the engage here. It's going to have to be a steal opportunity for Doe if they want to go for it. But actually, Diana gets the steal here. They may even get 2 kills for it at the end of the day as well. The rest of EDG will back off. That's really nice play from KT. I really felt like EDG had the advantage there, but they just miss-smited. Youth didn't even smite. Isaac gets the kill. That picks up a dragon and 2 kills for free. Now, they haven't got enough time to set up for the Baron here. I think what they were waiting for, if you noticed Sona's mana bar, they were just waiting for the opportunity where Sona had dropped enough mana. So if you look here, Sona's basically at 0 mana. They commit pretty hard, and that's when Rattel jumps in, gets people a little bit low. The dragon is doing a lot of work for them. And as soon as that happens, Luna jumps in and finds an opportunity to get onto Youth. Youth already pretty low from an extended team fight, and Sona doesn't have the mana to help sustain. So they were waiting for that low mana bar on Sona. Made it a little bit easier for them overall. And now Isaac's really strong. Actually finds the 1v1 versus the Fiora. Now, if you can 1v1 a Fiora, that really nullifies Fiora's strength. Like, Fiora is supposed to be a 1v1 queen. Like, she's supposed to be able to 1v1 pretty much anybody in the game. But if you can have Diana 1v1ing her in a side lane, that kind of nullifies a lot of the point of Diana as a pick, of Fiora as a pick. And so that's a good sign for KT from this point onwards. They've got a 3k gold lead now. It's about how they convert this. This is the point in the game where they need to be strong. This is the point in the game where KT need to kind of force the issue. I like that they're grouping up around Baron. A good thing for them to do would be to get some deep vision in that red side jungle, push out the minion waves, and actually just force or either try and make EDG check them at Baron. You want another fight. You're stronger than EDG right now. And EDG, I think, need that time to scale the Nasus and the Sona up a little bit more. So this is the point in the game where KT do want to pull the trigger. They want to look for fights. They want to force things. And Baron is a prime opportunity to do that. I think if you're floundering with this Baron opportunity, you're wasting time that you don't want to give over to EDG. I don't know where Nasus is at in terms of his stacks, but he is also running Exhaust, which is going to kind of either shut down either the Diana or the Lucian. Especially as the game goes on, Exhaust gains a lot of value. So I think, you do always have to be a little bit aware of that there is a timer here, a ticking timer for KT. Oh, come on, Doe. Oh, no. Just one more basic attack, and that would have been the perfect setup here for the Baron. You can see Diana's head down towards Zhang to try and take him on in the 1v1 again. Isaac's, I think Zhang's respecting it this time around. But again, like, what are you doing on the map right now, KT? Like, just get into the Baron pit. Why is Lee Sin split pushing? Just get into the Baron pit and start to force EDG to come towards you. Right now, you're just giving free time to EDG. And EDG, with that free time, are going to eat it up, and they're just going to get free stacks for the Nasus. And you can see they're just refreshing their ward coverage on that Baron pit. Like, why are you A-ramming mid? Like, what is the value of these 3 people just being mid right now? There isn't any value. There's no value here. You've wasted now 2 minutes where you could have just been looking or sitting around Baron. Like, you at least need to make EDG ask the question. Make EDG ask the question, are they doing Baron? Like, right now they are asking the question. And again, KT just walked to the mid lane for no apparent reason. I understand the point of getting mid lane priority around these objectives, but you can't be just shoving waves in, giving EDG free experience and gold, and then doing nothing with it. That's what KT are doing right now, and this is the problem. Any competitive team should take note. What KT are doing right now is called throwing. They're throwing the lead because all they're doing is pushing waves in for EDG to absorb, and EDG don't want to do anything else than just eat waves. Like, they don't want to fight for neutral objectives. They have a Nasus and a Sona. They want more time to scale up. And unfortunately, KT are just letting them do that. Like, KT could have gone to Baron and started it, or at least asked the question of Baron several times. And it looks like EDG, they're not even bothered about Infernal. Like, just do Infernal, man. Just at least take some objectives. I mean, EDG are not bothered about Infernal. And I think they're making a really sensible decision here. Why would EDG be bothered about Infernal? Oh no, Isaac. If you don't get Zhang here, that's a disaster. Yeah, why would EDG be bothered about Infernal if they are just scaling up? Like that 6% damage or whatever it is going to make absolutely no difference in the late game versus a Sonar and a NASUS who are getting insane amounts of damage and healing just stacked up for free. So now, KT, go to Baron. You've got 12,000 gold on your Diana and 11,000 gold on your Lee Sin. This is prime slap him in the head point. You are so strong. Go to Baron. Baron. Force Baron. Do Baron. Because all you're doing right now, why are they just pushing waves in mid? If you push a wave in mid, walk to Baron, clear the vision, and threaten Baron. Right now, you're just farming camps randomly. Like, you can see the difference in decision-making and thought processes for LCK and LPL. LPL clearly understand points in the game that they're strong, and they know right now that is, whoa, my God, Nasus has gone Liandry's Torment? Is this AP, like, stacking AP Nasus? I kind of like it. I actually really kind of like it. You know, you stack Nasus up, and you get him some damage. You don't need attack damage to make your siphoning strike good, right? So in a team fight, AP Nasus, all you're doing is stacking up so that you can come into a fight, slap down a really big E, like a really big third ability, and then still be a threat from an AD perspective or from a tank perspective. That's super interesting. Kill him. Okay, now go to Baron. Okay, KT, finally, 5 minutes too late. KT, what are you doing? Like, okay, maybe you push with Diana here. You've got 33 seconds. That should at least be an inhibitor turret if you just group up together. But what on earth are you doing right now? It's like you could have won this game 60 times by this point. Look at them. They're just sitting there. They don't know whether they want to do it or not. And now Doe's just going to get caught out. I think they need to go for it. I think they might be too late, but I think they need to go for it. Goodness gracious. All right, we've got 8 seconds until Fiora. I think with Nash's Tooth, we are going to get this tower to go down. So that's an inhibitor tower broken in the bot lane. That's going to be an immediate teleport to the Baron. I like it. Okay, finally, we're seeing KT do something. Maybe a little bit too little, too late. And they're going to peel off it because Doe's taken too much damage already. You don't need to do the Baron. You just need to force the fight. You don't need to do Baron. You just need to have EDG walk up to you and then force the fight. Just clear the vision, look like you're starting it, and EDG will have to come towards you and face check. And now EDG are going to get priority on it. So we're going to have the next item finished up for Nasus soon. Isaac's again looking for the 1v1 in the side lane versus Zhang here. Zhang, still don't think he's strong enough to deal with this, but you can see that Sky, oh, he's actually blocked out the ultimate here. Great charm, and now Isaac gets caught out. It's the price that you pay for doing nothing for the majority of the game, if I'm honest with you. I think the next dragon is going to be the Elder. So because of the stalling around some of the dragons, we've only seen... Oh, so all dragons have gone down. So we have seen 3 dragons in this game go down. Looks like a nice charm here. Doe has to be careful. There's the riposte into the kick to kind of get him out the way. Yeah, I mean, this game's looking more and more like EDG may end up may end up winning. I mean, they're a 2k gold difference. Yeah, okay, they've lost the bot lane inhibitor tower, but there's 2k gold difference at this point in time. Youth's going to start up this. They feel like they have the items right now. Sona is stacked. Would have liked to have seen Harmonic Echoes as well, but Staff of Flowing Water is great, especially when you've got, you know, an Ahri and an AP Nasus on your squad. That's a Liandry's as well. They're going to go for the fight here. Nasus on the front line, very tanky. They have the sustain with the Sona, remember, and they are trying to burst down this dragon. Lee Sin does find the Sonic Wave. He's going in here, and he smites it away. That is the Elder, but I think actually the rest of KT have already died at this point. You can see, look how much damage. Halibrari is not even really doing anything here. Just needs to wait for his E to come back up. Okay, that's Elder lost, and EDG weren't able to punish KT apart from a single kill. So that's a really big win for KT because Elder's going to give them a relatively decent late game win condition. They've got 3 dragons as well. So this is just something you can't squander. You now need to go to Baron and just say, cool. Next big objective that we need to focus on in 20 seconds is going to be Baron. We're going to get set up for it. Use that Elder, force the fights, and go for it that way. I really want to see this AP NASUS in action, though. It really, like Leandri's, Fimbulwinter. All right, let's kind of like slow it down a little bit. I really feel like you've given specifically way too much time to Sona here. And I'm not seeing... Well, okay, there is a Morellonomicon. So that's pretty good. But I would have actually preferred like a Lord Dominic's or some kind of Executioner's Calling. Because I feel like you have to land a big ultimate to apply Morellonomicon. And also remember the Morellonomicon healing reduction is reduced above 50% HP. So you have to be a little careful that actually you're not getting a massive amount of healing reduction from Morellos alone. And obviously Diana has to hit everybody with abilities to really make it valuable versus a Sona. So I'm just a little conscious. Now, Katie, finally, again, though, 10 minutes too late, going for the Baron. They are kind of bursting it right now, but they're not committing. They're going for the fight, and immediately they engage. Look at this, though. NASUS basically untouchable on the front line. He's just sitting there absorbing damage. And in the meantime, Fiora appears to have got too late game. NASUS has just sat there, essentially zoning people with his ultimate, slowing them down. And I actually think that EDG are just way too strong at this point. You can see, like, that you can't get through them. And they're now going to just walk straight on to Baron, and no one can touch him unless we get like another crazy steal from Doe here. But Doe is going to be zoned away ever so slightly. Come on, guys, you can commit to this. You can commit to this. Oh, I think Sona's got no mana, though. Here comes Fiora. Sona will have the mana now. Doe's still trying to buy a bit of time, but not enough time until the rest of his team come out, and that should be easy. With the Fiora heal as well, should be an easy pickup. They have to get back in time for those inhibitor minions, but goodness gracious, what has been going on this game? It's been absolutely nutty. I mean, with this Baron, we should start to see EDG bounce back a little bit. So we're looking at a full item build Fiora. We've got like an AP tank NASUS in the bot lane, which, by the way, you might not see the value that he's kind of providing, but when he pops his ultimate, especially with Fimbulwinter, he's just sat there and no one can really stand next to him because he's dealing a crap ton of Leandri's damage and he's slowing everybody down. He creates these big zones as well with those... What is that? I don't even know what that ability is called. The third ability of NASUS that sort of puts that big thing on the ground. He creates these big areas that people can't really walk into, like there, you can see on the ground. People can't really walk into it. And so he's got a lot of zoning potential in a team fight as well. I kind of like this build. It's kind of cool from Haibara, honestly. It's very interesting to see how different regions approach different characters. Like, you would just never see NASUS picked in Europe or even North America, maybe even in Southeast Asia. But as soon as China get on the field, they're playing AP NASUS bot with Sona and just getting a free lane with it. It's crazy. The real question is, like, would this fly? Like, would we see this... have the same kind of impact versus a normal lane setup? My answer is probably no. I think KT kind of let EDG get away with this, if I'm honest with you. But KT are clearly putting a lot into the defense here, though those siege minions are doing a lot of damage. One more wave, but that should crack that mid lane inhibitor turret. And we should start to see some inhibitor minions pour back towards KT. 22 minutes. This is an absolute beast of a game, by the way. I did say that it was long. I didn't get to see all of it, which is why I'm a little bit surprised about some of the way that this game has gone down, but pretty crazy. All right, that should go down easy. Oh my, is NASUS like basically one-shotting turrets? Like this AP NASUS, he's got like 1,000 stacks or something. It's pretty crazy. Right, Fiora's caught out here, but the real question is, like, can you actually do anything with that? And yeah, okay, Fiora goes down for 52 seconds, but we don't have Baron for like over a minute. And with NASUS's wave clear and with Sona, I don't really see a way that KT kind of bite back at that. Like, it's nice to get the kill on Fiora, but what is it actually getting them? I don't really think it's getting them anything. And I honestly think KT kind of threw this game. Like, despite the kill score not being huge, KT had a massive positional advantage from like 10 to 15 minutes, but they could have just gone for Baron. They've got Elder. They've got Infernal and Ocean. Like, that, this should be a game that KT technically are winning, but because I think they were way too hesitant to get back on to take any risks, I think, especially at Baron, they clearly didn't. You got to, context of this is that Korea have only won 2 games and they've won 0 series since the LPL LCK show match stuff began. So the LPL are clearly, the Chinese teams are clearly extremely dominant. And so the LCK are under pressure to perform versus the Chinese teams, which is just currently not happening. But Nonetheless, we've got a Baron spawning in 15 seconds, and this, I'm certain, is going to be the game-ending objective. Like, clearly, no more dragons spawn. This Baron is going to be kind of what decides the fate of this game. The team that gets this Baron will be able to push and win the game, realistically. So, it's all or nothing at this Baron pit between EDG and KT. Isaac looking for the engage here. They're having Fiora push out on the sidelines. I can see why they're going for the engage, but look how difficult it is to take that Nasus down. He's got the stopwatch too. He's popped that ultimate. He's going to get back into the fight, starting to get healed up by the Sona. You've just got to keep your eye on the sustain. Keep your eye on the sustain from EDG here. They have got a lot of it with that Sona starting to stack up now as well. I believe might have that Harmonic Echoes ready to go. Now, I wonder if KT just pushed down mid. Wonder if KT just say, okay, fine, fair enough. They are trying to set up. They're clearly giving up the Baron because we can see Doe is in the sideline. He's going to teleport in here, but it's going to be way too late to get onto this Baron. He's going to have to be forced to fight. They're going to isolate out Zhang here, but he does have that Guardian Angel for the meantime. Now watch them kite backwards. They do have a lot of sustain with that Sona. Halibari's taken down very low. They're still trying to kite backwards. In the meantime, Luna popping off. Luna's really popping off here. Wait a second. EDG may be in trouble, especially with that Lucian having that Guardian Angel available. But look at the minions. Look at the minions. It doesn't matter. I think they may be able to take this fight, but the minions are starting to crash into the KT base. It is a 1-for-1 right now, and Youth is going to back off. But I think those super minions are going to get the work done, and I think it's going to be end of the game here. Damn. That was crazy. AP NASUS spot. I don't think that would work if you had a normal lane assignment, but it was very cool to see the Chinese teams kind of pull it out. It was very, very cool. If you enjoyed this, please let me know. Let me know in the comments. I appreciate any feedback. That'd be awesome. I'll see you soon.